Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Before we get into everything, I do want to thank some of our viewers who sent in some Christmas presents. They're so cute. I have to show you. This is from a Noble Intent Company CO, Noble Intent CO on Instagram. And I know it's really hard to see, but it's RFK. These are all like wooden and they do it themselves. It's RFK and it says you're eating poison. It's a magnet. That's going right there for today's show. An ornament that is Tom Homan, and he is saying, "You'll be home for Christmas," which is so epic. And then MAGA Christmas with, you can't see it very well. You have to go to their Instagram page. Donald Trump is Santa Claus, and Kamala and Joe are very upset and crying about it. And then one more here, guys. This is so cute, and it like made my day. Hey, Steven, do you think that I could wear these Trump 1 earrings to your family's Christmas party?
Wear whatever you would like.
They're going on. They're going on, and they're red. So it's like, I was just trying to be festive, not trolling you. I don't know what you're talking about. So thank you guys. That's very, very sweet. Very nice surprise that I had coming into the studio today. So I think this was like late last week, maybe a couple weeks ago. There were a bunch of weirdo leftists that started occupying women's bathrooms in the Capitol to protest Nancy Mace's bathroom bill, right? Because she proposed a bathroom bill that simply says you have to use the bathrooms in the Capitol corresponding to your biological sex, because that is an issue at the Capitol now. So very, very basic, trying to protect women's spaces. And these weirdos were like, no, we're going to have a party in the women's bathroom to protest that like certain people shouldn't be in here because it's weird. Also, again, it's a bathroom. There are germs in there. That's no place to be twerking. just going to say, oh, by the way, the twerking is adding more germs. So Nancy Mace, I would say, is like, she's a legislator, but she's more than that. She's like a fighter. She's a bomb thrower. She is very willing to enter the ring and get into the fight. And she sent them this message in response.
Protesters showed up at the Capitol today to protest my bathroom bill, but they got arrested. Poor things. So I have a message for the protesters who got arrested. You ready? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney.
Boy, that wind is killer.
If you cannot afford an attorney, I doubt many of you can. One will be provided.
So they've had this back and forth because Nancy Mace is not backing down from saying something that wasn't controversial until about 5 freaking minutes ago. Okay. And because Nancy Mace is not backing down in protecting women and women's spaces and women's rights, in a recent development, Nancy Mace was assaulted, apparently, by a pro-trans activist. All right. So she wrote in a statement on X, I was physically accosted at the Capitol tonight by a pro-trans man. One new brace for my wrist and some ice for my arm, and it'll heal just fine. The Capitol Police arrested the guy. Your trans violence and threats on my life will only make me double down. FAFO, which we all know what the acronym stands for, with the hashtag hold the line. So it's just like, how many of these is it going to take? Right? Like, I need to make clear, this is not an isolated incident. There has been all sorts of political violence against, conservative leaders and in opposition to conservative ideology. And it just continues ramping up. They can't, like, the left can't win because they can't get their leaders elected, right? They miserably failed with Kamala Harris. In fact, that little experiment turned the entire country way more red. They can't get their leaders elected in the Senate. They can't get their leaders elected in the House. They can't import their voters. They're trying. Oh boy, howdy, they're trying. But Donald Trump is going to come in and secure the border. He's going to, of course, engage in mass deportations. Hold on. We got Tom Homan right here telling them, well, you won't be home for Christmas, but you're going to be home real shortly afterwards, all right? Ending birthright citizenship, and they can't win on their ideas or their policies because they suck. In fact, the latest poll, I believe, with Joe Biden, 61% of Americans disapprove of Joe Biden. I'm actually, it's actually depressing to me that that's not higher because he just absolutely abysmally sucks at his job. He's done nothing great, but that's neither here nor there. So they're just abysmally sucking at everything that they do because A, they're terrible people, and B, they have terrible policies and ideas. So what do? They just resort to violence, which, I don't know, I would say if you look at what's happened, and you look back at how long it's been happening, and you look at the escalation, you could be seeing the initial stage of a civil war. So I want to show you that. But before I do, I want to remind you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure hit the like button. You can gently tap it if you'd like. We like a gentle tapping from time to time. Make sure you comment, and it will, of course, help us in the algorithm. Share the show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Encourage your friends to subscribe. Do all the things, because remember, I'm making $0. We're making $0 from this program on YouTube, and we have been making $0 from this program on YouTube for a very long time because they don't want to monetize people who tell the truth. So help us. Thank you. So let's just look at the civil conflict in the past 2 years, okay? Just the past 2 years. That's all we need to look at, all right? Let's look at March 5th, 2023. There was a coalition of Marxist activists that protested. You guys may remember this. We talked about it. They protested against the construction of this police training facility. It was called Cop City in Atlanta. And this is actually wild. Look how many people there are. This is thermal footage of all of these people. Or night vision, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. But you've got all of these people coming in to where they were going to train police, which you would think that they would want. Like, I think the issue that they keep talking about is that police are not properly trained. And then when they set up a training facility for police, they're like, no, we're going to burn it down. So they had all of these violent confrontations with police. They vandalized property. They set a bunch of fires. This resulted in like $19.65 million in damage. It's just like insane amounts of damage. Insurance costs rose for the construction. It was like $400,000 more. $1.2 million spent in legal fees. And then let's go to, let's say, July 2024. This was when the left was trying to make Project 2025 a big thing. All right. And you have this, their words, not mine. Okay. I'll preface it with this, their words, not mine. The self-proclaimed gay furry hacktivist collective. Yes, I'll repeat. Gay furry hacktivist collective known as Sieged Sec. They hacked the Heritage Foundation in retaliation for, of course, the ultra-based Project 2025 agenda. And they called the hack job Op Trans Rights and leaked passwords, email addresses, full names of the Heritage Foundation's website users. And of course, following the hack, Sieged Sec wrote on Telegram, Project 2025 threatens the rights of abortion, healthcare, and LGBTQ plus communities in particular. So of course, we won't stand for that. Mew, mew. Is that supposed to be meow? Mew, mew. I wonder what would happen if we leaked the passwords, email addresses, and full names of every user, every U.S. government employee, even the Heritage President Kevin Roberts. Be gay, do crime. There's a lot to unpack in just those 4 words, but I'll keep going because I don't want to be banished from YouTube entirely. So September 18th, 2024, you had a ton of violent threats. And this went largely under the radar, I think because the election was so close and everyone was consumed with all things Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. But there was a man from Alaska, Panos Anastasiou, I think is how you pronounce his name. He sent like 465 messages to all 6 conservative Supreme Court justices, and he threatened to injure, kill them, kill their families, because of course he simply disagreed with their decisions on cases. And so per the DOJ, the messages contained, the DOJ said, graphic threats of assassination and torture, along with racist and homophobic rhetoric, which is strange because I've been reliably informed that the left is not homophobic. But anyway, he called for the assassination of 2 of the Republican appointed justices so that Joe Biden, the current Democrat president, could appoint their successors. And another report quoted him as saying, I will provide the rope to hang one justice from an oak tree. These are not stable people, guys. These are Maya Angelou famously, of course, said, when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Well, we can apply that to the left here. How many times is it going to take for us to understand we are dealing with complete crazy people who honestly want us all dead? That's it. All right. So let's go. You know what? It wasn't the most recent, but it is. July 13th through the present, right now, of course, Donald Trump, everyone trying to kill him, apparently. And so I'm going to play the clip of Donald Trump surviving the assassination attempt because we can't forget how they tried to ultimately destroy this country and just descend us into complete and total freaking chaos by killing our political candidate. Watch.
I see something that said, take a look at what happened.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the car. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes out.
Watch out.
Wait.
We are living through some of the most historic times. It's the most insane timeline. But so you have, I can't stop reminding people of this because it's insane to me. How much do we know? We're going to get into this UHC CEO killer. Okay. But it's like, how much do we already know about that guy? And we know jack shit about these assassination attempts, about these people, right? And so you have the House task force that investigated these assassination attempts. Yes, remember, it's plural. They tried to kill him several times. So they released their report from the first one in Butler. But remember that there is another parallel investigation taking place because the second attempt, you also have Governor Ron DeSantis, who said this happened on our turf in Florida. We are going to, of course, investigate it as well. And Representative Mike Kelly revealed that the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, FBI, and the ATF have yet to provide any documents on the second Trump assassination attempt. Well, isn't that strange? What is what innocent reason could they have for stonewalling an investigation into how the hell this could have happened and why these people keep getting close enough to potentially kill Donald Trump? Seems strange that they would block attempts at investigating that, doesn't it? Doesn't that seem strange? Now, this last one, I actually have hope. I want to give you hope from this because it is very bleak and it is very clear these people are ultimately going to resort to violence because they are upset that their ideas are shit and they're upset that they can't just control things and abuse their power and steal whatever they want, lie, cheat, and steal their way to maintain power. Okay. But we obviously should already have information on this second assassination attempt and way more information on the first one. Thomas Crooks, who was he? How did he get there? Why did his phone, why do we have some phone that was pinging at his house and also at FBI? What's up with all the Discord stuff that we didn't need to know about? What's up with the encrypted foreign accounts? And they're like, we can't get into his phone. That's weird because you seemed to get a hold of everyone's phone information from like anyone who was even in the DC area on January 6, 2021. So it just seems really strange that now all of a sudden you guys are just novices at getting people's information off of their phones, right? So we obviously have a lot of information that has been kept from us on how deep the deep state gets into trying to basically just kill their political opposition, in trying to physically assault their political opposition. And the left is now controlling these federal agencies. They're keeping the truth from us. But guys, daddy's coming home. I wish I could show you. Okay, Stephen, if I, can you see it in the side? There it is. Look, daddy's coming home. Okay, he's making appointments to get all of these answers. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Come hell or high water. We've got Kash Patel coming in as FBI director. We've got Kristi Noem as DHS secretary, who's gonna do, say what you will about Kristi Noem, she's gonna do a hell of a lot better than Alejandro Mayorkas. You've got, Brandon Herrera being floated as ATF. You've got Dan Bongino being floated as Secret Service. Daddy's coming home, okay? You've got Tom Homan as Tom, you're going to be referenced a lot today, okay? You've got Tom here. You'll be home really soon, guys. In fact, you don't even need to send a Christmas card. Don't bother with the postage. You pack up your Christmas gifts and you can take them over to Venezuela or Iran, or Turkey, or China, or wherever the hell you came from. Now, we will just drop you off about 500 feet into Mexico. Don't mind that, okay? Just make your way all the way to wherever the hell you came from and don't come back. But you will be going home. So I do think that there is hope. because we have the players in action ready to not only expose what is going on and how much it stinks, but you also have people like Nancy Mace who are willing to stand up, right? Like, we need more. We need more people to show up. We need more people to show up with me over at these drag shows that are going on, but it's happening. People are waking up. People are rising up. People are saying, like you have Nancy Mace here, people are saying, that's fine. I'll get a little wrist brace. I'll put a little ice on it. And I'm not stopping because I know that that's what you want. I know that that's what you wanted. You wanted Donald Trump to get scared and go away. You wanted Donald Trump to fear for his life so much. You wanted Donald Trump's family around him to say, you know what, Dad? You know what, husband? I'm very worried about your safety, and I really think that you should drop out. That's what they want. And more people are waking up and saying, I don't care. I don't care. It's the right thing to do. And we're going to expose you guys. And we're going to speak truth. And I really don't care if you have a hissy fit about it. I don't care. So guys, arm up to protect yourself. All right. But keep showing up because it's working. All right. We've got more to come. And I'm going to bring in my guest today. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Mobile. So look, Patriot Mobile they've been so instrumental on so many conservative issues in this country in really putting their money where their mouths are. So with Patriot Mobile, you're going to get the same nationwide coverage for your cell phone that you're already getting now because it's like the same towers that they're using. Okay. But odds are, A, they're going to save you money with their plan. And B, if you're already giving your money to Big Mobile, they're taking a portion of your money and they're using it on like leftist projects. They're at the trans rallies for kids. They're at all of those. I've seen them with my very own eyes. And Patriot Mobile, instead of doing that, they are actually putting their money where their mouths are. They're at the border, helping fight. They're feeding Border Patrol when Yaku Buyans, who's about to be here in a second, comes in and is fighting sex trafficking at the border. They are helping flip school boards to conservatives so we can get like all of the graphic content out of school libraries. I mean, they have been instrumental in this fight. So please, I'm telling you guys, you want to participate, you want to show support to people who actually are patriots like you want to support the parallel economy, do it now. Do it with them. PatriotMobile.com/Sarah. You can get a free month when you use the offer code Sarah. Do not get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or pretending to have the same coverage. They don't. They can't. Go to PatriotMobile.com/Sarah. That is PatriotMobile.com/Sarah. All right, welcome to the show, Blaze TV contributor Yaku Buyans, of course, also founder of Yaku Buyans Ministries, which you should check out. I was just talking about our friends at Patriot Mobile and mentioned that they are constantly over there with you helping feed, Border Patrol agents, and while you're over there fighting sex trafficking at the border. So
they are amazing. Glenn and Jenny and Scott, the whole team. They really are amazing. I talked about them this morning as well. Yeah.
Glenn, I keep telling Glenn, I want to have Glenn on my show one day. He is just such a character. We need to.
He is, but he doesn't want the camera.
I know. Well, because that's not what
it's about. You're like a court gesture.
Yeah, I know. He's the funniest. I know. He's great. He's great. Hey, can I complain about something before we get into this?
Yes, please.
I was just sharing with the crew. I was trying to type in my password, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
I can never, Steven?
Yeah, I'm really shocked to hear this one. It's just really...
I can never remember my passwords, and he's always like, why can't you ever remember your passwords? Why don't you write them down?
Don't sound like that, but I do say those exact same words.
I was about to say that. He's a lot more manly than that.
Yes, he is. Sorry. That's my bad impression, okay? But I'm like... why is it not my right as an American to have a weak password? Why do these companies get to tell me my password is too weak? I have to change it. You have to have one capital letter. You have to have two numbers. You have to have a special character, but it can't be that special character. It has to be a different one. You can't have any password that was your last 5 passwords. It should be my freaking right as an American to type whatever weak password that I want. And if I get hacked into, that's my problem. True or false?
Discrimination.
Thank you.
Discrimination.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm living in America. My password
control.
should be 123 if I want it to be.
Why can't it not?
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, that is the most important thing going on today. No, I'm just kidding. So I think maybe last time you were on this show, we were talking about Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
And the importance of the jury getting it right.
Yes.
And of course, they did. Thank God. It took them a little too long. But there has still been this fallout from Daniel Penny and the jury actually following the law. And there are some very racist and race baiting people who are very upset with that. And so I want to play, I think this was last night, Scott Jennings over on CNN, just like total mic drop moment, talking about the left's opinions, feelings about Daniel Penny versus, the UHC killer Luigi Mangione. Watch.
If you're on the American left tonight, here's my chart. The good guys today, Daniel Penny. The bad guys, Luigi Mangione. It seems to me.
How do you?
Everybody
what's
on the
the
left,
chart for victims?
I'm just telling you what I see out in the world.
I know.
What
I
I
just want you
see
to
out in the
finish
world
the
today.
chart.
Which
victim is
chart?
good
You
and
can make your own
victim is
chart.
bad.
What I'm telling you is
That's not on the second page?
People on the left. People on the left
Scott,
can't seem to tell the
I'm
difference
not
between the
actually
good guys
asking
and
you
the
about
bad guys.
people on the left. I
Praising
want to
Luigi
know
and
whether
attacking
you
Penny.
think that,
one is good,
as
one is not.
Congressman Crane does, that Daniel Penny should get the Congressional Gold Medal to recognize his heroism. I'm not asking you about anyone else.
I think he ought to get medal. I think they ought to build a statue to this guy in New York City.
I think that race, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the dreaded R word.
Oh, no.
Race plays a role in this, right? And so we see it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because statistics say that.
Wasn't there a similar case in New York City at the same
Statistics
time
say
this one was going on?
that
Yes,
when
there
people
was.
kill people who are white, they tend to get harsher sentences, especially if they're people of color.
What about the Jordan Williams case?
That is
What
what
about the Jordan
happens in
Williams
our
case?
criminal justice system.
First of all,
No, I'm
like-
not going to stop because race
I didn't
absolutely
ask you to
plays a
stop.
role
I
in
said,
this.
what about the Jordan Williams
Really
case here in New York?
didn't.
Same situation. African American gets on a subway, ends up killing a guy. Grand jury tosses it out at the exact same time as the Penny case.
What about Bernard
So
Pitt?
race does actually play a role.
Not
Because
the way
if
they tell you.
Exactly, because as Scott Jennings just pointed out, Jordan Williams, same thing happened to him. Grand jury didn't dare indict him.
Yeah. No, of course not.
Daniel Penny, oh my gosh, he's white, so he must be racist against black people. And so I want to play, Daniel Penny gave an interview with Fox News, and I want to play just a little snippet of this interview. And I want you to ask yourself, does this sound like a mega racist to you? Watch.
I mean, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't really extend myself. I think this type of thing is very uncomfortable. All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable. And I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of attention or praise, and I still don't. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt or killed.
I mean, you can see just on his face, the genuine nature of what he's saying. He's a Marine. But that's not the evil, racist white guy that we were all sold. Now, smart people like you and I didn't buy it to begin with.
That's right.
But they tried very hard. Yeah. They tried very hard to paint this into racism. Well, no, actually, you just have a guy who never wanted any of this. Sort of similar to our friend Kyle Rittenhouse. It's like he didn't ask for this life. And honestly, I watch him and I'm like, he's a much better person than I am, because I would have so much resentment and anger towards the people who imprisoned me for like a year and a half. I mean, this happened a long time ago, and they wouldn't, I believe, guys, comment and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that he was denied bail.
I think so.
And I think that he had, they made him just sit and wait in prison or in jail for his trial. And so he had to go through this whole thing. His whole life is ruined. His name is forever tarnished.
Not due process.
Right.
No due process. Yeah.
And he's already been convicted in the court of public opinion, called a racist, called all sorts of stuff.
Which he lives with forever.
Forever.
Regardless, like Kyle. And we witness it firsthand.
Yes.
It's nonstop.
Right. And so I'm just like, I watch him and I'm like, he is so much better of a person than I am, because I would be livid.
You know what I've resorted to, because this is my kind of a guy.
Hold on. I'm told the control room said he did post bail.
He did post bail?
Okay, fine. Same thing applies, minus the jail time. And it was $100,000 that he had to spend for no reason. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. He posted bail. We cover a lot of cases. I stand to be corrected. Regardless, I was sent to this planet by God on a search and rescue mission. Search for the lost, the brokenhearted, and rescue them. And anybody that stands in the way, that wants to harm another person that is innocent, it is our duty to stop evil when we encounter it. It is not our duty, as they've trained this country, to film evil, post about it, tweet about it, and be this virtual Batman warrior. You throw your body on the grenade. This is a Marine. You neutralize the threat. For who? For the good of everybody. You're in a confined space. You don't know what's going to happen. He tells you the what if. What if I don't do anything? Living with that is hell on earth.
Right.
I've resorted to this, and I had this conversation this morning because we're in the process of rescuing a 4-year-old. Okay? And I said this to the opposition. Stop and ask yourself, your daughter is on the train. Your daughter is in the vicinity. And someone's coming for your daughter, and a random stranger takes down the threat. Would you want them to or not? Make it personal. It's time for things to get very, very personal in America. Not just this la-la land of virtual signaling. There's real threats in our society. They have created a class of people that are nuts.
I just talked about it with someone assaulting Nancy Mace.
They are nuts. Now you got a bunch of nutcases out there in the world that think they can rape children, steal from people, rob your store, and you have no recourse, spit on the police, shoot the police, burn the flag, cry we're Hamas, persecute Jews. They've let the crazies run the asylum. Now you're going to have crazy people running around, and good guys are going to have to take them down.
Yeah. Step up.
This is what's going to have to happen.
Yeah. Well, and, I would say Daniel Penny is like just the embodiment of a good guy, as you just pointed out. And I know you don't like tattoos. I know. But can we just for a second?
I dislike tattoos. They're just not on my body.
Not for you.
Yes.
They're not for him, but he's not judging. But I think you'll like the one that Daniel Penny has on his chest here. It's Samson killing a lion from Judges 14 in the Bible, similar to, of course, that famous painting, which obviously is like the lion would be a predator, which of course would be evil. Lions attack, sheep. Sheep are God's people. Like it's all in there. So that's what Daniel Penny did.
David kills the lion and the bear when he's about 12 years old with his bare hands because God prepares him to go and take out a giant when the whole army cowers like America cowers in front of a single uncircumcised Philistine. And he picks up 5 stones, not 4, not 1, but 5. He takes 1 stone to kill Goliath because he heard folklore that Goliath had 4 brothers. And he was ready to take out the 4 brothers with Goliath. It was just why he picked up 5 stones. We are called to stand in a gap when we see injustice and eliminate the threat. It's our duty. That is Ezekiel 33:7. The watchman on the wall that does not warn and stop the injustice, the blood is on the hands of that watchman. What Daniel just told you, if I did not do it and he harmed somebody, their blood was on my hands. This is biblical.
Yeah.
That's actually why America exists.
Yeah.
Is to make sure that the bad actors don't run loose around the world. That's what happened when Trump was in office and we were not in a single war. It's like everybody squares up. Trudeau gets on a flight all of a sudden. Grandpa's back in that. The belt's coming off. Somebody's about to get a whipping. let's get straight real quick, right? I mean,
I keep referencing, you'll be home. You're going back. Okay? The belt's coming off. You're lucky if you're just a little bruised, but you're going back. Things are changing. All right, we're taking the country back, and you're welcome. You'll still be able to benefit from all of the lower taxes, less regulations, economic prosperity. You're welcome. You'll still benefit from that.
And your children not watching twerking and rape not being normalized and theft. You're welcome.
Yeah,
yes,
you're welcome.
Welcome, George
American
Clooney.
left. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more. But I want to thank our sponsor this segment, Homestead, from Angel Studios. Okay. So here it is. A nuclear blast devastates Los Angeles and just totally throws the nation into chaos in Angel Studios' upcoming film Homestead. This is coming to theaters December 20th. It's about an ex-Green Beret who joins a prepper compound, which, that's a story to be told, okay? So it explores the humanity behind, an apocalyptic type of situation. And most importantly, Angel Studios has been a phenomenal studio producing, woke-free content. All right. Family-friendly, woke-free content. So pre-order your tickets for a chance to win a $300,000 giveaway. It includes 1 Bitcoin, a fully furnished tiny home from Box House, a custom Polaris OHV by Sparks Motors, and everything else you would need to start your own homestead. You can pre-order tickets for your chance to win over at angel.com/Sarah. That is angel.com/Sarah. So while I've got you here, Yaku, with all of the work that you do, I want to talk about this Jay-Z P. Diddy situation. So just kind of to refresh here, because there have been several events over the past, several months. So this is actually Texas attorney Tony Busby, who those of you who watched the Ken Paxton impeachment trial will recognize the name. He was, of course, the incredible lead attorney on Ken Paxton's impeachment defense team. But he filed a civil lawsuit against P. Diddy back in October, alleging the rape of a 13-year-old girl. And last week, Tony Busby refiled the charge and added that Jay-Z also took part in the assault, rapper Jay-Z. So keep in mind, Jay-Z was actually 28 when he first met 16-year-old Beyonce. And they say that they started dating 2 years later when she was 18. That's really convenient for you to say, okay? They're like, no, we swear. I mean, we knew each other and we were really close, but we didn't start dating until she was 18. All right, whatever. But Jay-Z responded to all of these allegations, claiming it was a blackmail attempt, he said. Now, there's been this back and forth between Tony Busby and Jay-Z, but Tony Busby says, actually, my client didn't ask for any money from you, Jay-Z. How is it blackmail? The dirt is already out in the open. But Jay-Z continued to attack this attorney and mentioned that he says, I'm a defender of children. So he says, you have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, whatever that means, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me. And, it's interesting about protecting children, because he did write a song called You Must Love Me, where he talks about shooting his 16-year-old brother when he was 12 over a stolen ring. Also started selling crack when he was 13. He's all about protecting children. Okay. So he goes on and says, with his wife, Beyonce, they were heartbroken for their family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. And so it's just very interesting. Very interesting to see this come out. Jay-Z obviously comes out in full force that it's blackmail, but Tony Busby is like, my client didn't ask for a penny from you. How would this be a shakedown?
Yeah, blackmail would have to be, I'm holding this over you, you pay unless.
Right.
Just real quick. Within the realm of human trafficking, 30 years of fighting human trafficking, the one area that my family focuses on specifically is the entertainment business, because my sister was trafficked by a record label executive. Now, those European circles made their way to the United States, which is why we're here. You have to go way back, and you have to look at who funds Jay-Z. Same group who funded Sean Combs. You need to go look at Clive Davis, who nobody wants to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Look at Clive Davis's role in the music business as the mob boss of the music business. You need to look at who funded the freak parties, how frequently Jay-Z and a slew of record label executives in Hollywood, Tinseltown, have participated and visited. This thing is going to go on for a long time, Sarah. We knew 2.5 months ago, I contacted Tony. There's a lead investigator that does amazing work on this, that Jay-Z was going to be named. There's many more that we know will be named. This thing's going to go far and wide. I don't believe we're going to see the action taken on collateral to the point where people want it to, as it will be on Sean.
Yeah, because I mean, think about how little we know about Jeffrey Epstein and his little black book.
Because, and I know people saying, well, Trump and Kash Patel is going to release the Epstein list. The list does nothing for you. So we have the list. We know. So you get the list. You have to adjudicate this in court. And what people don't understand, most of the victims are contractually bound to silence. They will be sued. Their lives will be ruined. They will be legally. They are extorted. They have unbelievable blackmail on them. Mm-hmm. Their families are compromised. So I do believe here you're going to see again, like you saw with Weinstein and with Epstein and with Maxwell, Sean Combs, I refuse to call him P. Diddy. Yeah. Sean Combs is going to he's going to fall hard. I believe, however, he's a weakling. I believe he's not a strong man. Epstein didn't talk. I believe he's going to talk. And
which is why you have to wonder if he's going to be Epsteined.
I know they know he's going to talk because they know him. He's known in the music industry. I was just talking to a lead producer in Hollywood that was, and I think I told you this, he was bribed by Sean Combs with a $96,000 Rolex to join in these parties with the kids, right? And he mailed the Rolex back. He said, no, thank you. I'll never work with you. Okay. This producer is very influential still today in many of these circles. And Sean is known as an individual with loose lips. He was cavalier about his stuff. He didn't hide it. So he's going to talk. Jay-Z, though, is cunning. You have to ask yourself, why is it that Jay-Z controls all content for the NFL? He's got the contract. You do not sing at the halftime Super Bowl if Jay-Z doesn't decide you sing. He curates all.
No.
100%. Jay-Z is a major power player. Infinitely more than Sean Combs. Infinitely more. Clive Davis, who is now old and is the godfather, who I've met with in person, in New York City, godfather of the music business, has passed that mantle to Jay-Z. Jay-Z controls the music business. And when you start digging into rap culture, the exploitation of men, rape of men, that Lil Wayne's talking about, that Aaron Carter talked about. Yeah. Okay? Jay-Z is a power player in the music business. So it's good that he's named. They're going to have to prove it. There's not a plaintiff against him other than, yes, this. Now, this is enough. You don't need 100.
Right.
You need one that's credible. One.
Right.
One is too many.
Well, and I would just add, I know we got to take a quick break, but I would just add to this story, Tony Busby has come out and said that there are investigators from New York who are calling his current and former clients and basically asking them to sue Tony Busby's law firm, which is a crime. So I'm sorry, when it comes to attorneys and very high-powered attorneys, like, he's not going to make this accusation if it's not true, because that could blow up his entire life and career. The fact that he is already coming out and saying, by the way, he says they have him on tape One of his clients taped these guys, calling them saying, hey, if you want to sue your former lawyer, Tony Busby, that would be really cool, huh? So the fact that he's coming out on offense and saying this, I think it's very clear to me who is telling the truth and who is not.
David Harris asked me, Yaku, why did it take so long from the raid until the indictment, right, of Sean Combs? And I said, David, because this time it's being done right.
Yep.
Tony is doing it right.
Yes. Yeah.
It's deep I'm talking to investors. It's deep investigation. He is methodical about it. He's precise about it. He's not flipping. Remember, Epstein, it was like, just throw it all against the wall and let's go. And they made giant mistakes.
Right.
They made huge mistakes, right? They basically nullified all the testimony from Virginia Giuffre, et cetera. This time it's done right. It's methodical.
Yeah. By the way, we've got like a ton of mutual friends. I'm trying to get Tony on the show. So hopefully we'll be able to work that out and get him on so that he can, talk about it himself in his own words. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. So while this is some good news, I'll give you some good news today. While the left is continuing to try and destroy all of their opposing views, our friend Alex Jones had a small victory yesterday. So, of course, just to kind of give a quick recap, because this has been in the courts for freaking ever, Alex Jones lost the Sandy Hook defamation cases, was forced to pay the families over $1 billion. Obviously, they know he didn't have that money. That was the whole point. They wanted to, of course, silence him, bankrupt him. And so he was going through this bankruptcy court. And recently, a judge ruled that Alex Jones had to auction off InfoWars to pay out what he can to the Sandy Hook families. And the auction was like super shady. They changed the rules at the last minute. And the winner of the auction was not the highest bidder. And it was The Onion, who was backed by Bloomberg's anti-gun group. Okay, so The Onion was the supposed winner of the auction. And so they said that they were going to use the money that the families would make from the sale of InfoWars to buy InfoWars. So it was fake money. Like, it wasn't money that they actually had. Okay, and they're like, but the families agree with us. They want us to win. And so it was all this shady, like, just obviously liberals working together to try to silence Alex Jones. Well, last night, the judge presiding over the bankruptcy procedure, Christopher Lopez, just blocked The Onion's attempt to try to bend the rules. And now he seems like he might be a little bit bummed about it. So, but we'll take, we'll take the small wins where we can get them. He said, I don't think anyone acted in bad faith here. Yeah, right. I think everyone was trying to buy an asset and put their best foot forward and play by the rules, but I don't think it was enough money. Whatever, I see right through it. But again, we'll take the small victories where we can, because word on the street is that Roger Stone brought a coalition of investors whose bid was far higher than The Onion, who doesn't have the money. So if this is all done on the up and up,
Yep.
This
shenanigans
should go to a group of investors who will then, of course, take the company and hand it right back over to Alex Jones, rightfully so, because it's the company that he built.
But they know that's going to happen. And that's why you got all the shenanigans. Exactly. They know that the conservative right would go, you know what? But let me think about it. Where else does that happen? Oh, like, American Airlines, where the government bails them out, or... we're going to bail you out, but you keep it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't like that.
It's funny when the wheel turns. It's funny when the table turns. So, yes, because he built it, right? And look, we have seen this before. Many, it's not a movie Founders for no reason, okay? They do this, but I just don't trust the left for anything.
No, of course,
by hook or crook.
He's like, I don't think anyone acted in bad faith here. Oh, really? You think that changing the rules...
Who are we talking about?
Right, changing the rules at the last minute and not letting all of the bidders know that the rules were being changed at the last minute, at the 11th hour, and then taking a bid that was not the highest bid, even though you claim that the point is supposed to be to give money back to these families because they deserve $1 billion.
This is an auction, but the highest bidder does not win.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's not an auction.
Right. It's a setup.
It's a setup.
It's a scam.
It's a front.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So I just look again, like we'll take the win. I'm just saying if I have a judge who clearly probably doesn't like Alex Jones, but is willing to be unbiased in his rulings, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Do we know what the number is that we think that this was going to go for?
I read it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. But I just remember reading that the Onion's bid was substantially lower.
But how
than
do you,
the other bid.
But they were bidding without having the cash.
Yes. Yes.
They were leveraging the asset against the sale.
Yes. And they were saying, but we'll get it, and then we'll give it to you. It was fake. It was all fake. It was all fake.
Kind of like Kamala.
Boy, I'm ready for her to go away. Aren't you?